Everyone, how are you doing? So sorry for running late. I've have so many meetings, and I was on a really great meeting just now, and it just went a little bit over. I love you guys trying to understand where am I going or what am I doing. No, not on any shrooms or anything like that. Although good old Amsterdam was great. I'm still out here in Belgium, sober and simple here at the moment right now. We're actually working on just so much stuff. Like I'm not in Belgium just for fun. I'm in Belgium because there are two strategic partners here in Belgium for us, right? Which is amazing. One's in the jewelry category, and one is in the art category as well, or the photography category, which is going to be coming for Soulbound stuff, which is pretty exciting. So, I've been having fun out here on those fronts and just working. Like people like think, oh, I'm vacationing. I don't have time for vacation. I literally am working like 16 to 18 hours every day. I think I take like a couple like 30-minute walks, or I just go sit in a cafe somewhere, which is kind of fun. I'm in Antwerp right now. Surprisingly, both of the partners strategically are here in Antwerp as well. Both of them are diamond holders, because that's also the other interesting thing, right? Like we'll share a little bit, and we'll get into some amazing pixel art here with Gokce and some friends here. But one of the biggest things that has been really powerful is that we believe in this idea that the next wave of Web3 is going to be defined by communities that help activate the human capital within their org, right? Within their entity, right? Like if you could help organize this human capital to do big things and leverage the collective community, we think it's going to be incredibly powerful. And that's one thing we're trying to get right with a bunch of upside with the amazing diamond holders we have. There's some insane diamond holders that have been incredibly helpful, already have amazing skill sets, and we're working with them to bring them live into the Web3 world. And each one of these is going to be not only a way to drive more value to each and every one of you, right? But the other amazing thing, right, is that we get to drive more value on behalf of diamond holders, right? Which means that diamonds get stronger. There's a reason why there's very few diamonds listed, even in a bear market. There's still healthy sales for diamonds. Last few diamond sales are above 4 ETH, right? 4.5. These are all really great elements of where we're trying to build. And this is kind of why I'm honestly enjoying my time, even in the middle of a bear. I have to yell at a lot of people about why we're not minting, right? But we know what we're doing. We have our conviction, and it's great because we also have a killer art teams across the board, right? Killer art teams from, of course, the 2D illustrated art, for some of our 3D art, but also, of course, our pixel art. Pixel art has been a huge heart of what we're trying to do. And I've been incredibly lucky to be able to find someone like Gokce, an extended team like Irina, Piotr, Mahmoud, and Meta to be able to just really bring these worlds to life. So, same thing. We want to start giving you guys a lot more access to the way we're building these worlds, and also hear and see what we're doing, which is going to be pretty fun. So I'm going to bring up Gokce real quick, and we'll talk about a little bit of the stuff we're working on, because the worlds are still evolving, right? We're still working on a lot of art, which is going to be pretty fun, and we'll talk to you about some of the strategies here. Let me invite Gokce up real quick. Here we go. We got our boy Gokce here. Gokce, how you doing, man?
I'm amazing, man.
Awesome, man. How are things out there in Istanbul for you?
Well, from the enormous hot and humid weather, things are good.
Yeah, man, that's actually a major reason why I'm not traveling to a lot of those countries right now. I struggle with heat. Like I haven't even. I love Italy, and I still haven't gone to Italy because I don't want to deal with the heat. And I hear even in Turkey and Istanbul, it is crazy hot at the moment right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Probably next week or something, it'll just go down. But
Yeah, it's well. You probably within a month you'll go back to kind of a much more normal, cooler weather, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's probably what I'll. That's probably what I'll stop by. I've been lucky because I'm a cold weather guy, right? Which has been amazing. I've had I've been lucky at almost all the places. Like they've been raining in all the places I've gone to, except Amsterdam. There was no rain. Paris had rain. Belgium's had rain. I love rain. It's so weird. I know most people hate it, but it's some of my favorite weather out here. So it's been nice and cool, which I really do enjoy. And at the same time, it's a really fun weather to kind of explore the cities too.
yeah. Me too. I'm even a snow guy, but we don't get much snow
There's
in the
not much
cities.
out there. Yeah, you gotta go travel somewhere nearby. What's the closest place you could find like good snow?
In Turkey, there are lots of places, but Erzurum, most of all, is a really nice skiing place. It has like 6 months of snow. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's high, so it's a really nice place to ski and that sort of resort stuff.
I love it. Yeah, it always surprises me where you can actually find some surprising locations where snowfall exists. Like I'm a dumb American, and I didn't realize that one of the hottest states in the U.S. is Arizona, and Arizona actually has snow resorts. Like there's actually ski resorts there, which is mind-boggling to me. I did not know they existed in those places. So that's awesome to hear that there's a few as well in Turkey, man. I didn't even know that as well, man. I gotta go get more cultured here, but I'm glad that you got a few options there for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. We have like, I don't know, we have like, I think 10 or so ski resorts in different cities, but coldest one, the most, Olympic sort of one is in Erzurum, which is a nice place. I've been there like a couple of times.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's kind of what I love too, because if you get those exposures to different parts of the world, different seasonalities, it just makes for a much more balanced life, man. Well, I appreciate you making time for us as well, Gokce. I know you guys have been hard at work on just a bunch of pixel stuff. We've been updating, we've been pushing. I think we're now up to, I think, probably 5, 6 full collections now ready to go. Probably more than that, to be honest. When we look at everything we've been doing, and that's kind of been the magic of working together for, geez, I don't know, it's been a year now or so, a little bit more than that almost at this point, which has been great. And we have a couple cool things. I think probably the two things that have been taking the most of amount of our time more recently or previously has been Ronin, of course, right? Getting that whole collection ready, which has been an interesting challenge because we're also focused on file size restraints, right? When you're working on the ordinals front, we got to make sure, but it's a perfect place for where we think, of course, Bitcoin, I mean, where pixel art can work incredibly well because of that, smaller file size optimization. We're able to put amazing quality art there. So that's been taking a lot of time. And then, of course, the other time as well has been just polishing a lot of the other collections. We've been even amplifying some stuff on Oath. We know Reapers is coming up next with some of the votes. And then, of course, right, just making sure all of the assets in the world are kind of getting optimized with some of the beautiful art and larger visuals behind Ronin too. I'd be curious as you look to the past stuff. What's been kind of the most interesting stuff for you guys as a team to tackle that has either fun or surprisingly an interesting challenge? Just curious on what's been driving you guys as a team thus far.
Speaking of Ronin, specifically, of course, the biggest challenge is animating all of these stuff beautifully in a very limited file size. which is of course pixel art helps, but even in that we had such a small limit. So what we've been going through, we had used lots of different techniques. We tried to uh, very limit what pixels we animate, what colors we use, what range of colors we use, etc. That was one of the biggest challenges. But design wise, another big challenge was, um, we all love Japanese culture. We all love the samurai culture, the Ronin culture, 19th century things. But still, we were like, okay, what's the range that we can do with all of these? Of course, we tried lots of things, but we also came up with our original ideas that would not too much be super stupid looking within the samurai overall vibe. So we designed lots of masks, lots of hats, lots of armors that we came up with ourselves. That was one of the very fun and of course the biggest challenges that we had.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy range, and I love being able to share, all these different pieces here because you can see the type of crazy range we've been kind of messing around with, and that leads to like very different animated masks because we're also even making our own twist on some of these cultural worlds while still respecting them as well, right? Like I love the kind of venom snake like mask, right, with the tongue and the fire eyes. I love kind of the simplicity of adding both the standard armor with very different helmets. I love the fact that we still have the natural cultural design that you could see with kind of all these different worlds, and then we also build these beautiful scenes, right? Like one of my favorites, of course, is that Tree of Life update where we built it more for the the Japan, Edo Japan kind of vibe. And then one thing I thought you and the team and Irina did really well have been a lot of these animated scenes. One of my favorite ones is like this one inside the dojo. This vibe, this feel of trying to just be a part of this world. And I think this is kind of the very bullish thing around what we're trying to do is that we are trying to be able to build this. So this was Meta who worked on this dojo here. Thanks, Irina. And what you see here is just these very simplistic ways to fall in love with the world and still kind of play into what we would assume is traditionally Japanese, but also at the same time give room for kind of our own approach, which has led to some really cool designs and some really cool worlds as well. And we're still incredibly excited about the Ronin brand. It's now also the crazy thing about all the PFPs that you'll see, as Gokce mentioned. They're all, even the animated ones, have incredibly small file sizes, right? And that's also another important thing, right? Because the smaller the file sizes, right, the more the cheaper it is for us to inscribe, which means more value we could pass back to you as potential collectors in this world. So what's nice about Ronin is Ronin's effectively like 100% done, right? There might be a couple small color tweaks. We might add maybe one or two small weapons, but we essentially have all these pieces now done and ready, which is great, which now allows us to have a much more honest conversation of when does it make sense to bring this over to the ordinals market. And I think you're going to see a few windows, which is going to be interesting. Of course, in about 6 weeks, we're going to see the amazing, amazing opportunity around Bitcoin Amsterdam. And I think they're calling it Inscription Amsterdam, following it as well, which will be around ordinal specifically too. So we're going to take a look there, see where that market is. But again, our luxury and benefit of working with such an amazing team is that we can keep layering up this art, right? And this art just gets stronger and stronger because, we're effectively ready for when the market kind of turns in our direction as well. And then I'm just sorry, I'm grabbing a couple more images here for you guys because this is the other fun stuff, right? And we shared a few of these. I just always like to bring them back out. Some of the ones that we've done, just some cool backgrounds of the world, which I think is also a fun little area to see. We're not sure exactly how we're going to use all these pieces, but this is kind of the nice thing here is that we have all of these different visuals that bring this world to life. And that's also another important thing, right, on why Tribe is in a very healthy position is that we just keep building this IP out. We keep optimizing this IP. And this is the other cool thing is that, King's Oath is also effectively 100% done. Not only is King's Oath effectively done, right, we're also even adding more things to King's Oath, which has been kind of crazy. One of the things that Gokce and I were working on is like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to add maybe a couple of different backgrounds? Again, these are probably a lot more noisier than we'll probably want them to be because we're still figuring out the exact backgrounds. But we just like sharing these so you guys can get a feel of a few of the different things that we're trying out and just constantly testing. And this is also where it's really fun, right? Is that we have these totally, we're thinking about what would it look like to be able to create a whole bunch of different, Halo types behind certain characters. What would they look like? What would they feel like? Gokce kind of shared this creepy one where there's an eye and kind of a pentagram behind it as well. There's also this beautiful like ring of fire that we're pushing as well. And this is where we get to have fun because now we're doing like the final color corrections and final, just honestly the generative formulas, right? Because this is where we're going to kind of push these out and see which ones do people want, right? Which ones do people like? And this is also where we're in such a fortunate position because we have the diamond holders who will get to be able to, help curate, give us feedback, give us ideas. Because the biggest challenge whenever you're trying to build PFPs is finding restraint, right? It's very easy to add a whole bunch of traits, whole bunch of traits, whole bunch of traits. But if it gets too noisy, right, you start losing the PFP value. So this is where we need to make sure that, same thing, like we're most likely not going to be using the backgrounds that are in these visuals right now. We built some amazing looking background visuals, but they're too noisy when we want to put the PFP first. So we'll probably be using more neutral colored background behind them, something more closer to the one with the weird eye as well. But these are kind of all the channels, right? Is like this is kind of the fun thing of what we're building is that we get to push, right? We get to push on all of these and see what lands and what doesn't. And this is the crazy thing. I think Gokce, you made what 10 more new Halos? I think was like the number. It was pretty crazy how many you guys tackled.
Yeah, I think we have 10. But yeah, I mean, it's a whole new layer of depth about the Kings, and we have already completed the Kings, and we just did some minor work on them for like months. I don't know. So it was really interesting to go back and revisit it and do a whole new layer that we didn't even start doing before. We thought about it. I know we talked about it with you very earlier stages, but we didn't really do it. But when we did, it all made sense. It all made really lots of sense. It all added a lot to the background of the character, and also it helps really differentiate characters with the same armor, two characters with the same armor, for example. Um, it helps like giving a um, you know different aura or different border like thing. It really helps with the PFP mindset too. So it was really beautiful to work on these halos. Um, but we're not done with it yet. We have lots of really insane ideas. I don't know how insane we can go, but I mean practically. But yeah, we have lots of more insane, maybe like um, unique sort of ideas with the halos.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice part is that we are pretty insane with a lot of these already. Like I'll show a couple more that are kind of interesting again, because again, this is what I love about working with this team is that we've been pushing the boundaries to get like everything right, and you'll start seeing some other cooler traits that you might not have seen before, like this is a cooler broadsword that we've added in, which I think is really cool. And it's got a slightly different background here. Let me drop these two in. These are sick. And this is the fun thing about why we're kind of working incredibly hard is that we're constantly just trying to figure out how do we level these up, right? So like one of my favorites is like, this one's just like a spiky halo. It's kind of more of like a steampunk style and vibe where you just kind of have this behind this. Is this as fit? Maybe not. It's probably not what I would love the most, but I actually still think it looks really cool. It gives it a little bit of a different vibe and a different feel. And then, very similarly here, like this broadsword is really cool. And this is kind of where we get to push a lot of the different qualities, right, of the different traits and the different kings. All these kings that we're showing you have the same face mask, or majority of the last 3 or 4 have had the face mask, right? And this is where we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be curating the colors down, getting the right balance right, really pushing these up to a whole nother level. And you can just see, like, this team is capable of just pushing the boundaries quite a bit. And you kind of see a new broadsword here that's kind of it's got a shimmering effect to it. And that's the other cool thing is that it's not just, hey, we're trying to give you another PFP, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to give you quality art that could be used as PFPs as well. And that's the challenge here, right? Some would argue that on this last one I've shared, maybe there's too much going on with the movement and everything, and that's where we want to figure out the subtleties. But this is how you actually build, right? Something really special with the collection. You go to the extremes first, and then you start adding the restraint to bring it back. And we're going to find some really nice balance here, because this is exactly where our pixel art team is tier 1, is that they're able to push boundaries of expectations, right? And this is also why we realize, we want to prioritize this even moving forward as we get ready to scale. And the biggest thing that I'm most excited about is that not only are we perfecting this, we're going to be perfecting, the Reaper stuff with the animals are going to be getting a big update, as that's now the primary PFP. So you're going to see some animated traits coming into them very soon, which will be really cool. But the other big thing that we're working on, we don't want to share any of them yet, but what's cool is that we'll start sharing shortly. Diamond, you'll get an additional preview on Thursday, is that we want you guys to have some of this pixel art relatively soon. And we know that we still need to be patient as we're getting ready to mint and launch everything that's happening within our world. We need to be patient, but what we can do is do this for souls. So this is the other amazing thing that we're now updating in our strategy, is that we were initially, there's 3 different soul claims that are going to be possible, right? And the first, of the 3, right, there's essentially a comic, a piece of art. In this case, it'll be photography is what we're currently targeting. And then lastly, it's going to be a PFP. And that's what we thought the order was going to be, but we're actually going to flip the order around. So what you're actually going to get now with Soul is that you will get a PFP first. And we're creating a total new set. It's a set that kind of represents what we think like a concept of a soul can be. And this is kind of why I'm in a very, very, very excited position, is that we're just going to start giving you guys art and filling up with your wallets with joy. Because if you like this art, I think you guys are going to really love the soul art. It's a different vibe, different feel, very wide range, and it's only going to be claimable for those of you who have Soul. And again, if you have Soul Season 1 and 2, your rarity will go up on what you can claim potentially as well. And then very similarly, right, if you have gotten early souls as well, which is going to be pretty cool, you're going to also have the ability to get maybe multiple PFPs as well in your wallet. And this is kind of the nice thing about this is that we want to have and give you guys some really cool pieces. And this PFP that we're creating for you guys is also pixel art, but it's also fully animated. And that's the other really cool thing. So that's actually what Gokce and team are working on now. That's actually their primary focus. We've actually already made a ton of progress. Gokce has already shared, I think, like 20 or 30 different bases at the moment right now, which is awesome. And then, diamonds are going to actually be able to choose some of the traits. So what's really going to be cool is that diamonds will be able to see some of the traits, some of the variables, and they'll also be able to customize it and let us know what else we want to add. And then we probably need probably 1.5 more weeks to kind of fill out the entire set. And then behind that, you'll actually be able to claim this PFP that will then allow you, with that PFP, you'll be able to claim everything else. You'll be able to claim a comic, you'll be able to claim a piece of art, and they'll all be kind of unique product experiences. Everything is going to be very unique. And this is the other amazing thing about being able to build in a bear is that with soulbound stuff, right, we're not worried about liquidity. We're not worried about any of that stuff. All we care about is, do you connect with this art, right? If you connect with this art, this gets really, really powerful. And then with that, we could build some really fun games along the way that can be, training this as well. And yeah, we're going to have some fun little traits. Diamonds already have seen a quick preview of some of the art early on, and it was just the base art. They're going to see a little bit more of the updated art this Thursday. And that's the other amazing thing is we have such a big team working on this. So I know, Gokce, you guys have been hard at work on some of those traits and figuring it out. We'll probably share more about that. But I think this is probably the 7th or 8th collection we've now worked on, which is kind of crazy with all the time we've been working together.
Well, the thing is, I'm really excited about souls because, for example, as opposed to with Ronin, our limits are really thin. I mean, really not too many limits. We can do lots of references. We can try lots of different things, lots of animation, and one of the best things is we're not limited by the file size, so we can go mad with these. And we already went pretty mad with these, but we can go even super insane, super funny or serious or quippy or anything like that. We're not too limited, which is really fun. We're having lots of fun and very funny, comfort, little conversations between the team. I love working on this, but I didn't think you would leak. Are you leaking it? No.
No, we're not leaking anything yet. We'll probably leak them in a couple of weeks. We'll probably right before it. I think this will be the fun part, right? Is that we'll have a nice little build up to this, but this one will be one of the surprises of where we're going because, again, this is kind of the value of Tribe is that we haven't stopped working, right? Everything is continually trying to either update, polish, or innovate on something new. And what's crazy is we have a collection for Modern Pro, we have a collection for GM Tomo still. We have a collection. We did a lot of early art collection exploration as well for a few other product lines. We have some really cool ones here. God, I love it, man. That's actually a really good copy paste. It almost fits weirdly too perfectly on Killam's PFP there. That's pretty hilarious. But that is kind of like the joy of kind of where we're working at Tribe. And this is now like the belief that we have is in this bear market, we're going to shower you with art. We want you to make sure that everything that we deliver for this community is truly about, the highest value and connecting you closer to the amazing artists that are here. And when you look at the collected team, we almost need to do the numbers. Have you collected the massive numbers, Gokce, of all the total amount of years across the core 5 team you guys have been working in pixel art? Because you've been working for what, 15, 20 years in pixel art, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing pixel art since my childhood, but my professional life is since 2010, which is 13 years
Wow.
by now. Irana has been working on pixel art professionally since 2002, for example. Mete and Piotr started with me. They both of them I trained myself, which I'm proud of, really. Which was since 2016. And Mahmoud is the youngest among us. He's only 30, which is young in the team. And he has been working on pixel art since 10 years, since he was 20. So, yeah, with the
Okay.
total experience is something along I don't know, maybe
Yeah, I
20
was like,
years or something.
I think it's more than that because, yeah, Irina's saying 98, so that's
Yeah,
25
sorry.
years, right? And then you're 13 years, so you already have 38 there. Add in the other 3, you're probably looking at 60 years or so, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Of combined talent. And that's also, again, why we're in such a amazing position, right? Is that we're using these amazing talents from all of you guys collectively, and that's what I think gives our pixel art so much charm. Because on one of these next sessions we'll be bringing up Irina. We'll bring more of the team members up as well because I want you guys to see. Because Irina's also worked on game development as well too, which has been great. Same thing with yourself, Gokce, right? I know you've worked on a handful of pixel arts for games as well too, and that's kind of where it's amazing because you guys also are interdisciplinary skills, right, with a whole bunch of different categories. And because of that, we've been able to not only move so efficiently, but bring just a total new feel to this pixel art, right? It's not the same boring shit of putting an animal and doing 500 iterations of that
Yeah.
animal. It's really been about how do we push the fantasy, the sci-fi, the reality, the depth, and the details to kind of a whole nother level, which has been really powerful.
Yeah, I have worked on several NFT projects before I even met with you. And one thing I was really surprised was they really wanted to keep things too simple. I mean, too cheap to make, or like making everything hey, come on, let's wrap it up in a week and mint and be done with it. That's totally not the thing with Tribe. We're just trying to. You are asking us to try to make the best quality art possible for the community. So there's a huge major difference.
Yeah.
And we have worked on lots of games in the old times, in the new times. We made retro games, retro other arts, non-game art, lots of new, more fresh art in pixel art. So we have lots of different uh, categories. Even I can say I've made very low resolution stuff. I made very high resolution stuff too. So we were pouring everything in, and there's no limit. You're not asking us, "Hey, stop! Let's not go too crazy here," which is really, really both fun and artistically um, keeps us pushing the limits, pushing our limits.
Yeah, and I think that's also why it's so fun to work because you guys are so skilled, right? We could give very minimal frameworks to you, and to be honest, I get surprised what comes back, right? And then we're doing very light iterations, right? Because again, you guys as a collective team have been able to hit the mark so consistently, and that's kind of the way I love operating as a team is that we've given you guys, and what I do believe is this concept of empowerment, right? Where you guys feel empowered to kind of push into your own extremes. There are sometimes where I have to put some context of parameters, but most of the parameters have been historically light, and that's where I get to just be kind of like a small editor role in the end. But the editor role, right, really doesn't come into play on the creation side, because we can always cut stuff down the line, right? And that's what I love, is we operate with this thesis of abundance, right? Because like the amount of traits we have on Oath for a 1200, 1300 collection size is ridiculous, right? The number of traits we're going to have for even Soulbound, right? Like, I assume based on this market, only like 2,000 people are going to be minting their soul PFP, right? Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. There's up to 8,000 uniques that are technically capable of doing it. But what's nice is that even on a 2,000, 2,500 collection, I think we're going to have enough traits for close to 1 million of good range and good quality, which is great. And that's true for everything, right? Even with Reapers, right? And that's the other crazy thing, right? Is that Oath has 3 collections. Lost Realms has 3 collections done. There's there's Oath as PFPs. There's Flight of Icarus, where we have these bird PFPs, and then we have all the playable characters, right? And then same thing with the Reapers. We have the exact same thing, right? We have 3 layers already ready. Right now it's animals first, then it'll be like, human slash Android pilots, and then it will go to ships. And, those are, at least the first 2 are like 80, 90% done. And ships are also like 80% done. We've just been creating more ships, which has been great. I know that was another thing you guys are working on. Let me see if I could grab one of the ships here as well. Because that's also the other fun thing that's been kind of coming along, is that we're just pushing up the bars on a lot of these things to see where they go. Oh, yeah, here's some dope here. I'll share. Open in browser. Let me open this one. Save image. This purple ship looks dope. What else do I have? Ooh, this one looks dope. I don't even know what these are. Oh, this looks great. One sec. Let me show you guys this one. This just shows you again, just like the talent of this team consistently through. Oh, we got our Pepe Ronin, which will be great too. Oh, wait. Hold on. Here we go. Here, I'll just show you the GIF. This is probably the best one, right? Like, this is just, again, this beautiful GIF that shows you the dynamic and generative ranges on just one spaceship type. There are like 10 or 12 spaceship types, and this is just showing you the generative range on one, and these look fucking phenomenal, like, which is just so damn cool. And the best part is all I told the team was make some ships, right? Like, just make some ships, right? And this is what they keep coming back with, right? And this is what makes it so easy to work with this team, is they are just continually putting out this quality here, and I think this is kind of where it's really beautiful. Yeah, we might have some pink colored ship. Here's like a purple ship. This one's also really cool as well. And this is kind of where we want to like just really push a lot of the quality here, because just different styles, different looks, different feels. There's also these monster ships that we've created, which is really cool for enemies and stuff like that, which will come into the Reapers world. Let me see if I could find a couple of those. Oh man, I am yawning. It is getting close to the end of my day, but I still have a bunch of meetings, which is great. I don't think I have the mega ship.
Thank you. Here's a ship from Meta for you.
Okay, here we go. Oh, you send it here to me? Oh, my bad. Yeah. I thought you were putting it in the chat directly. One sec.
Okay, I can.
No, oh yeah, go ahead. Drop it in there for. Oh, this one's sick. Oh, this one's beautiful. I love these types of things. Oh, check out this ship. Look how dope this looks. Oh my god, like we just have so much beauty in these ships, right? And then of course, you guys will, depending on which pilots you have, which characters you have, they will pair with certain ships from the galactic fleet. Oh, then you guys have made Chancellor Galleon, well, now self appointed Emperor Galleon, super upset. You're going to see his world kind of play out into a whole little fun design. And that's kind of why, like, I've been, just so excited because we're still building the IP of these worlds. Reapers is also going to have a comic, Lost Realms has a comic, Ronin's comic is in development. And this is where all of our stories start moving larger, and I think this is going to be just incredibly cool when we get all of this stuff out. And that's what you want to really believe in at Tribe is no matter what, when we have IP, we can nurture and develop this IP to become even bigger and better. Yeah, none of what we're showing you is one of one stuff. There will be one of one ships. There'll be one of one pilots. There'll be one of one sidekicks. You guys haven't seen any of those. We actually haven't fully designed those yet. You guys actually just chose some of the rare traits. So, now we have the halo and the amulet look like they've been voted on the last vote, which is going to be great. So now the real thing is going to come down to is like, how do we make these feel robust and animated and really fun in our design, and that's kind of where we've been able to build this killer pixel art team to get us to the next level here as well. So hopefully you could see kind of all these pieces now coming to life, and that's what we want to do with these pixel events. Keep sharing with you guys all the work, and probably next week we'll probably give you guys, once we confirm with Diamonds which ones they like, we'll probably give you guys one concept of the Soul PFP, which I think will be really fun. You'll get a good sense of what these will look like, and they're minimal in nature, but they're animated to give you very wide range. So that's going to be the other fun little thing here as well, because our biggest opportunity here is keep showing all of the beautiful pieces of what's happening at Tribe and unlocking that for you guys if you want them, right? And that's the other cool thing is all of this stuff is optional. They're all free. They're all soul bound. You'll be able to claim them. All you have to do is pay gas. And that's kind of the nice little thing is that you guys will have the ability to recognize that you have a choice in what you want to add to your wallet. That's what Soul is going to give you. Soul is going to give you multiple ways to bring art into your world. And of course, as we've now gone gated, right, with our world and our design, right? What's really powerful now is that these are individuals who have some long-term inklings, right? Because we've been building this here as well with all of the design. Yeah, Shepard, I already said there were benefits of it. You got to be listening during these spaces, bro. There's always it. If you minted early, you'll be able to get a second PFP. So they'll be airdropped to you as well, which will be great. Yeah, no worries. I know a lot of you guys got work and stuff, but yeah, we did notice it. Share this earlier. So Gokce, I know you guys are hard at work. Kind of filling out the Soul PFP, and then I think after that we'll be moving you guys back to the Reapers kind of finalized design here too. We're gonna have a lot of cool stuff. Is there anything else you want to cover before we wrap up here today, Gokce?
Want me to share another one of the latest ships?
Yeah, sure. Feel free, man. You can always share the ships here. While you do that, maybe. Oh, look at this one. This one's fire. Wow. That's a crazy looking cockpit here. I love these designs, man. I mean, this is where it's going to be so cool. You're going to get generative spaceships, guys. This isn't just like one-off shit. We're literally trying to give you guys a bunch of range, a bunch of dynamic stuff. You're gonna be building your own little army. Like you're gonna build your own little squad of like if if you've ever watched, I don't know, what is the? Oh, why am I blanking on the name? Galaxy. What's the name of the movie series?
What?
Uh, what
Star
the
Trek or something?
the Galaxy was Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm getting too old for this shit. I can't remember. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, Star Trek. Like, you're gonna be building your teams, your squads, your ships. There'll be some mega ships that will also be rare as well. There'll be some cool one-on-one ships that will be animated. And the idea is that you'll have the entire infrastructure for a lot of different content and worlds to grow, which is going to be really nice. So we just have a lot of things planned for you guys, and I think the fun thing here too is that the warlock role is about to be shared in the not this week but next week. You're going to see some of the cool things where warlock will unlock, and it will start showing you some of the cool storytelling here behind some of the worlds and the design. So lots of cool things that are about to show up, guys. We're really excited for all these pieces coming together. So with that all, we're going to let you guys all go. Gokce, thank you as always for sharing all the wonderful stuff that you guys are building. Hopefully, we'll spend some more time on sharing some of the cool art as well next week too for some of the soul stuff that we're working on.
Thanks, man. It was really nice to get this talk done with you, and I hope to do lots of more of these.
Amazing. Well, thank you all for joining. I don't know why 500 of you guys keep showing up. We love you. We have given out the relic already as of 10-15 minutes ago. It is slowly being added to all of you. It should be at the bottom of your profile as well when you get it. That one is called Pixel Factory 003. As long as you are on this call and have decent internet, you will all get it. Our bot works really well. It doesn't really matter. It here as well too. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys joining in for this. We do have another Reapers event. The next Reapers event isn't a vote. We'll see the reviews, but there's some updates in the story. I think Emperor Galleon, self-appointed Emperor Galleon, will be sharing some more details on where that world is going. And then also, if you're interested, later this week, we'll still do a Ronin event tomorrow and give you guys an update on where Ronin is. And then lastly, over at the end of this week, we'll do another comic book session. And then we'll also be giving some updates to the Ether Squad as well, and that's open to anyone in the Ether side. But look at the Reaper side, man. The amount of senators is dropping every vote. This thing is becoming a super small supply, so I'm really stoked for it all. Thank you all for your time. I'm going to let you all go. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.